May time ako na parang I hate her so much.
Masakit.
That was a lot. Family issues on display. This was a heartwarming episode, but also kind of heartbreaking. There was a lot of laughter. There were some tears, but overall, another intense and emotional Drag Race makeover episode. Plus, we're gonna be explaining a lot of the references for you guys who want to understand Drag Race Philippines even more. Girlies, it's DragSplaining Philippines! Over the last few weeks, we've received so much love from all of you out there, so thank you so much for sending us so much warmth and rainbows. The lovely queens on the YouTube channel, in my honest opinion, gave us a shout out. We so appreciate that because we've been big fans for a while. So all of you who reached out to IMHO to tell them about us, we send you so much love back. That really warms our heart because SISNE POP is a 3-person team. Even if we don't have the biggest resources, I mean, we have a lot of limitations, okay? But the love and support you've shown us over the past few weeks encourages us to keep on going because we're all just really passionate about letting the world know how fabulous and fierce Filipino pop culture is. So from the bottom of our puso and puso pa rin, thank you so much and keep supporting us. And please don't forget to subscribe to SISNE POP. Now let's get on with talking about Season 3, Episode 7, The Makeovers. The queens return to the workroom after the elimination, and similar to what the queens are feeling, we still are really sad about saying goodbye to Mommy John Fideliaga. I can't believe she's not in the workroom anymore. By the way, we did the math because last episode I was like 6 queens left.
6 queens remain.
There are 7 queens left. I apologize, I'm terrible at numbers. So apparently there's a group in the competition called the Papansin Squad.
Nagwasan tayo ng isa sa mga Papansin Squad. So... Oh my God.
The members are Angel, Khiana, Zymba Ding, and John Fideliaga. But what is Papansin? In Filipino slang, the word papansin basically means someone who's an attention whore. And clearly, Angel does not shy away from being described like that. I guess it's the Philippines Rolaska talks. Love that for them. Okay, let's rewind a bit. Khiana and Zymba Ding did have their moment last episode.
Your lips wasn't thinking.
Ba't ngayon mo siya sinasabi?
And we saw small remnants of that in this episode.
It's not personal.
It's not personal. Yeah, I know it's not personal. Pero nagkaroon akong bagong perception sa'yo.
Like, I feel like when Khiana was like, congratulations, finally on your first win, Zymba. I felt like that was backhanded. Just as a viewer, I feel like that whole thing has not been 100% resolved.
We forgive, but we don't forget.
Finally, we get to the point where the girls do the reading challenge. Okay, I said that with a lot of energy, but this was kind of, let me just say, all these queens are really funny. Like, they're really smart, they're really creative, they're fabulous drag queens. I just don't think that the way the reading challenge is structured is the best format for Filipino queens. Also, they're drag queens, so this whole FLIPTOP approach is not working. If you watch the show and you're not familiar with FLIPTOP, it's basically the Filipino version of a rap battle. This was popular, I think, during the early 2010s in the Philippines. And I guess its main difference from like, I guess, American or Western rap battles is that this is usually something done in the streets. The style for FLIPTOP is it's mostly freestyle. And I think in America, for example, when I watch rap battles, I think they have like a beat. In FLIPTOP, there is no beat. It's all you. And it's a rap battle. So it's a lot of trash talk, it's a lot of insults, it's a lot of really nasty name calling. And the queens did try their best to fit into that mold. I just think it didn't work. Now, Maxie ended up winning the challenge, and it's because she really didn't go through like the whole FLIPTOP approach. Having said that though, she really had good zingers and I really enjoyed it. Here comes the Maxie challenge. It's the all-important makeover challenge, and they went with tradition. They had the loved ones of the drag queens come visit and become the subjects of the makeovers. So Angel and Maxie got their parents. The mothers of Khiana and Zymba came to visit them. Tita Baby and Popster Bench got their significant others. And Myx Chanel's best friend was by her side at this challenge. But what gagged the queens was that the guest judge for this week was none other than the Philippines megastar, Sharon Cuneta.
Let's all welcome Miss Sharon Cuneta!
Nang dahil sa'yo, namatay ang anak ko!
Amanos.
If you're not Filipino, you don't understand. And we're gonna make you understand. She is probably the queen of show business. She has been in the industry for decades and dominated TV, movies, music, commercials.
Sama ka na, ang saya dito.
Drag Race, yung budget nyo, ang laki.
She's such an exciting choice for a guest judge for two reasons. Reason number one is her relevance in the Philippine entertainment industry. She started her career really, really young. Since then, she has turned that career into awards, blockbuster movies, best-selling albums, talk shows, concerts, a brand. And of course, when you're that iconic of an actress in the Philippines, you're gonna be embraced by the queer community, and she embraced the community right back.
Aim high, trans Pinay.
And because of this, she's actually become part of the meme culture. And I think her most important immortalization as a meme is being a verb. In queer lingo, there is a term called Sharon. And to Sharon is to take something home from like an event. Like if you're at a friend's party, you're gonna take food home from that party. Now that's a very Pinoy thing to do. But we never really had a word for it until Sharon. Good question. So one of her most popular songs is called Bituing Walang Ningning. Or in English, A Star That Doesn't Shine. Its most popular lyric is Balutin Mo Ako sa liwanag ng iyong pagmamahal. Are we gonna get copyright struck for that? We better not, Sharon. Please don't. In English, that is Wrap Me in the Light of Your Love. TBH, missed opportunity for a lip sync. That's what they should have lip synced to this week. Of course, the queer community obsessed over the lines, Balutin Mo Ako, wrap me up. So as a meme and as a queer term, Sharon is to wrap something up from a gathering so you can take it home. I would love to hear non-Filipinos use this in everyday conversation. I would laugh my ass off. Now, because she's super iconic, she has legions of fans. Blackpink's fans are called Blinks. One Direction fans are called Directioners. And Sharon Cuneta fans are called Sharonians.
Kami ang Sharonians dahil binabalot namin ang mga tira sa buffet.
And a great example of a Sharonian is Tita Baby. Tita Baby had to make over her boyfriend, and I will say, I think she was robbed this episode. Now, if you watch all DragSplaining episodes, I clearly love every single queen on this season. And I'm really happy for Maxie's third win, but I really thought Tita Baby was the entire package for this challenge. I mean, she literally looked like a package, wrapped in foil or something. And I thought Tita Baby and her boyfriend were the best at giving that on the runway. But I get it, their outfits were not as grand as Maxie's or even Zymba's. But I was really looking at the overall thing.
Wala naman nanalo na for me kasi Sharon yan.
There's always this storyline on Drag Race, no matter what franchise it is, where they're edging certain queens. And when they're edging a queen like this, it goes two ways. She's safe and she's on top, and then she gets eliminated. Or she's sometimes safe and sometimes on top, and then suddenly and finally wins a challenge. They're still edging Tita Baby, and I don't know which direction it'll go for her.
Ito na ba yung rubanj ko?
Myx Chanel and her really close friend. When this friend worked into the workroom though, I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. They look similar. The friend looks like a drag queen already out of drag. But they did look super cute together. And I do love seeing friends in the makeover challenge because it's a different kind of fun. I will say, I found Myx Chanel's runway idea for this super, super witty because the superhero that she was referencing was the superhero mascot of a popular junk food. It's honestly one of my favorite snacks when I'm like drinking beer. Her partner was another superhero, I think maybe based on the same superhero, because there is a version of this junk food wrapper where the superhero is male. Up next is Popster Bench and Boyfie. When Karen was doing the rounds in the workroom, the conversation that she had with Popster Bench was so beautiful because they had this trans to trans, heart to heart moment. Karen actually just got married, so congratulations to you, girl. So it was nice to see Karen appreciating the love between Popster Bench and her boyfriend. Even Popster Bench was super like on cloud 9 the entire episode. And so I feel like there was a sense of peace in her, even with delivering not the best look on the runway. Because as much as I thought their performance was cute and the look was not bad, I mean, I did see a family resemblance. But yeah, it really did not stack up to the other looks on the runway this episode. And of course, we already know the history of why Popster Bench's looks this season is not up to par with her vision. But I did appreciate watching her have fun throughout this challenge because she had the love of her life by her side. Now, she said that the reference for this look was the superhero Super Ingo. Back in the 2000s, there was a fantasy superhero series here in the Philippines, Super Ingo, a boy who becomes a superhero. And it kind of confused me a little bit because I did not see Super Ingo in the look at all. If anything, Khiana's look was what reminded me of Super Ingo. Khiana's runway. I was actually shocked to see this runway look from Khiana because I think the makeup that she did for her mom was amazing. But we have seen amazing looks from Miss Khiana with a K. This is her most basic look to ever send down the runway. And it kind of shocked me. But I guess realistically, you're packing for Drag Race. So I don't think it's possible to have like a 100% pakak runway. Having said that, I do love that this was a very healing experience for Khiana and her mom. Because let's face it, I think for most queer Filipinos, relationships with parents are always strained. And I think the audience hearing Khiana's story, her mom's history with domestic violence, and how it strained their relationship, I hope can also be a healing experience for people who saw the episode. Because I think right at that very moment when her mom stepped into the workroom, I do feel like their relationship was still not 100%. And I do feel that this experience really pushed their relationship in a beautiful and better direction. And I just love seeing it on a platform like Drag Race. Another beautiful mother and child moment that we saw on this episode was Zymba Ding and her mom. As viewers, we already know a little bit about this because Zymba did talk about this during the very first episode. But I think more than the reconciliation with each other, I think the powerful highlight of Zymba and her mom this episode was her mother's survival story. There really isn't a lot of exposure, especially today, about people who experienced leprosy during those times. And with how clear Zymba's mom told her story, I'm sure it was a very tough and challenging time for her. On top of the fact that her relationship with her children was suffering because of it too. So hopefully viewers learned some lessons here and got some inspiration and maybe encourages them to take action in their own lives. When Zymba talked about going the eagle route for this superhero theme, I thought they were gonna reference Mulawin, which was a fantasy primetime series when I was a really, really young kid. Mulawin is a show about human-bird hybrids. John Fidel Yaga actually referenced this in her Snatch game. It's so funny.
Teka, lilipad ako. Lilipad ako.
But when Zymba and her mom came down the runway, I was like, oh, they're just going more of a generic eagle route. And it was such a cute moment that her mom laid an egg and then she came out. That was really funny. That was really witty. That was really drag. I just love these like beautiful parent-child moments on the runway. Let's talk about Angel and her mommy. They obviously have such like an open, supportive relationship because I feel like there was no tension. Because with Zymba and with Khiana, you know, there's a little bit of history. And I'm sure that Angel's relationship with her mom and also her dad is not perfect, but clearly they have a really good relationship. And that actually translated into the makeover because the judges did nitpick her look, but the makeup was flawless. Now, her superhero was trans nene and trans nini. So trans nene is actually a term right now in the Philippines to refer to like younger trans women. So maybe trans identifying kids, teenagers who are just starting to explore HRT or is just coming out to their parents. There's actually a great series of important documentaries from a news body here in the Philippines about trans nenes. So for those interested, you can actually find all of that online. And hopefully a lot more people will have more interest in these kinds of issues through Angel's performance. Lastly, the challenge winner, Maxie. On this channel, we've actually touched on how Maxie is supported by her parents, especially her dad. And I feel like for a TV show, this is a great full circle moment because I can still vividly remember what I believe to be Maxie's first time on Philippine television. And it was with her dad.
Bakla ka man o hindi, mahal pa rin kita. Tinatawag ka lang isang bakla, sa akin, isa kang dakila.
And I think that that was one of the first times that we see on Philippine TV a Filipino parent, a dad in particular, being so proud of their queer son on television. And I hope that this emphasizes to a lot of people that support matters. Children getting support from their parents really builds their life. And we've seen Maxie being so successful on Queen of the Universe and is now doing well on Drag Race Philippines. These would never have happened if Maxie did not get the support that she did. And I also hope that this clarifies for parents that it is not a choice for you to love your children. You exist to love and support them, regardless of who they are, because you brought them into this world. And Daddy's personality!
Baka may manligaw pa sa akin eh.
We now know where Maxie and Angel's personalities come from. Because the way he was just presenting in the runway, he was really macho, sure. But like he was giving it his best with all these like hand movements and stuff. That was a really cute effort. And I do think that charm was probably what sealed the deal for the judges. And that's how Maxie bagged the win. Overall, it was an amazing challenge. I do think this is the lightest makeover challenge that Drag Race Philippines has ever shown because the first 2 seasons were incredibly emotional, but not in a bad way. I just feel like this is more lighthearted, heartwarming, hopeful, and that's also something that we need to feel, especially in times like these, girl. Okay, so because there are 7 queens left and every single one of them is a good drag queen, the judges did have to nitpick. And that's just the burden of having a season with a really outstanding cast, okay? Sadly, Popster Bench and Khiana landed in the bottom 2 and had to lip sync for their lives. Can I just say, this is probably one of the best lip syncs of the season. My God, can these 2 hosts perform? The fact that they lip sync to like, you know, a boring song and they still ate it up, that's just a testament to how fierce they are as performers. I think we did see it coming that Popster Bench was gonna sashay away this episode. I feel like she also saw it coming. So this hurt, much like John Fideliaga's elimination hurt, but that's just because we love Popster Bench. But this one, I did smell it from a mile away because I do think them inviting her boyfriend for this challenge and then having this beautiful moment with the boyfriend was a great way to close out her storyline this season. And she did say, what if she comes back for an All-Stars? I'm looking forward to it, mommy. 6 queens remain. And at this point, I don't even know who are they gonna send home, especially because next week is a lip sync Lollapalooza. Bruh. Okay, we're at that point where we're gonna teach you a queer Filipino word. It's time for vocabulary. This week's word is a relatively new word, and I do want to credit Maxie for, I think, making this word very popular. The word is Puksaan.
Yeah, sino kaya ang magpuksaan?
So the meaning of this word is still a little loose because it is new, but generally it means anything that's like a battle, like a slayage, like some sort of a fight. Because outside of gay lingo, puksa is a Tagalog word that means to kill, to slay, to eliminate. But in gay world, a lot of people use it just to describe something that's like maybe a war of words, queens reading each other down, or when like maybe like you get scolded by your parents, or when there's an event and there's a gathering, there's gonna be a lot of personalities mixed together, when there's a little bit of a competition.
Siyempre, pag mga favorites mo yung yung nagpupuksaan, nakakalungkot.
So for me, I can't wait for next week's Puksaan. Sino kaya ang mapupuksa? Puksain kita dyan eh. Filipino viewers, if there's a specific gay lingo word that you want us to tackle here, just leave it in the comments. Or if you don't know Tagalog and there are certain words that you keep hearing on the show and you want to understand it more, let us know. We will gladly explain it. Because again, in this channel, we promise to bring Filipino pop culture to the world! Or the universe, rather. But anywho, thank you so much for watching. Again, do not forget to subscribe to us. We appreciate all the love and support. And we're right here. We're gonna be back next week to bring you a lot more DragSplaining Philippines. But for now, I gotta go. So this is your Queen Momo, and I will see you next time. Bye.